In this video, I'm going to list 17 of the most exciting and unique features and hidden settings that you can find on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And the kind of stuff you're about to see, you might want to show off to your friends, but maybe don't show these to your iPhone friends because they'll be like, Anyway, this is not going to be your usual basic setup guide that I'm sure you've seen hundreds of already. And if you stick around, you will see what I mean, because
I got you, homie.
Number one. So let's kick this off with a game-changing tip that's even more of a game changer. If you're a sports fan, go into your settings, go to lock screen and AOD. Now here, go to Now bar. Go through this list of live notifications and switch off everything that's not relevant to you. Once you've done that, go back one step. There's one really nice feature hidden away here. If you tap on Sports by Google and hit the Sports from Google settings, you can actually choose your favorite teams and favorite sports that you want to specifically show up on the Now bar. So for example, if you're a football fan and you follow the Premier League, you can just use the drop down there and then choose your favorite team from the list. Now with this setup, you can keep track of the results of your favorite sports even whilst you're in a meeting and your phone is locked. So if you liked this tip and you like the idea of the Now bar, then you're going to like the next one because I'm going to show you how to improve it even more. Once again, let's jump back into the settings. This time, we're going to go to Galaxy AI, scroll down until you see the Now brief. Tap on this and go to content to include. Once again, you want to go through this list and switch off everything that's not really that important to you. And once you've done that, go back one step and here consider enabling expand now brief without unlocking. But before you do, just know this, anyone who has access to your phone could snoop around in your briefs. And I just heard how that sounded, so moving on swiftly. Okay, this next one is a fun one. If you slide out the Edge panel and go to Drawing Assist, this is a more evolved version of what we had before. So check this out. You can still draw and it will create an image from your drawing in these various styles. You can also add a picture and get it to recreate it using AI. But now you have the text prompt, which basically means you can type in anything you want, anything you can think of, and have AI create it for you. For example, and if you're not happy with the original result, you can of course just choose a different style, but here's where it gets a bit more interesting. If you hit the little photo icon here, you can add a reference image. So let's try this out. And of course, the results will vary every single time, so you can create something even more unique than you could before, and also in more of the style that you're looking for. So on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, the power button is now the Gemini key. When you wake Gemini using the button, you'll see this little wave icon. And if you tap this, you can have a conversation about pretty much anything you want with the AI. And it's getting more and more human-like by the day. But this is a great tool for learning and brainstorming ideas, and also for researching topics or just for entertainment. And if you wake it and hit the plus button, you can also analyze images.
This looks like a scene from an airplane nightmare.
Now let me show you another AI trick. If we wake Gemini, tap on the search bar, the keyboard pops up and you'll notice the little sparkly stars. Here you'll see the composer and you can give it a brief description of what you're trying to write, what you're trying to say, and then choose the style in which you want to write it and the tone, and hit generate, and it will do all of the hard work for you. And if what it composes isn't quite detailed enough, if you hit this little icon up here in the top right corner, you can set it to detailed and get it to recompose what you were trying to say. And it's important to know you can access the AI Composer tool everywhere on the phone where you can use your keyboard. But let's say you're a Gboard person, when you open your Google keyboard on this phone, you won't see those sparkly stars. But fear not, if this is your keyboard of choice, I do have a trick to show you guys, so definitely stick around. Now another Gemini feature that's been upgraded is it can now perform cross-app actions, and I believe a lot of this stuff is still in development, but there is a way to check what is actually working on your phone right now, and I'm guessing no one's probably shown you this yet, so let me show you. You'll be able to quickly find your Gemini app in your app drawer, right here. With Gemini open, hit your icon in the top right corner, and here go to extensions. Now there's a quick summary of what Gemini can do with your Samsung apps here at the top, and you can scroll through these and see all of the features that it mentions here. And if you scroll down, you will see all of the apps that have the Gemini extension. So all of these Samsung apps, if you have them installed on your phone, can work with voice prompts through the Gemini AI. So you can pick and choose which ones you want on and which ones you want off. I'm going to switch on Spotify, just for example. With this set up, I can add things to the calendar, I can make phone calls, I can WhatsApp people, I can even tell it to play the latest episode of Joe Rogan. Let's try it now. Play the latest episode of Joe Rogan podcast on Spotify.
Here it is on Spotify.
.org. And then is Warrior Angel Foundation still?
Add an event to my calendar for tomorrow.
Sure, what's it called?
Don't forget to remind people to subscribe.
What time tomorrow?
12.
Got it. Adding now.
If you're the type of person who blinks or pulls a funny face whenever a camera is pointed at you, or if you know someone who's like that, you're going to love this next one. To get this to work though, you have to do this first. Open your camera. At the top here, see the little icon that looks like a little play button. Just make sure that's on, and that will switch on motion photos. Now, when you snap a photo with the rear cameras, it only works with the rear cameras. You now have a new option. If you swipe up, you will then see the option to choose best face. And the way this works is because the phone has taken a burst of images, you can then switch to a better look. Now, the first three, I do believe, are actual photos, and the fourth one appears to be some kind of AI. I don't think I've ever been that happy. Well, maybe I would be if I won the lottery. And then you can save a copy. That way you still have the original photo. Okay, so this next tip is a pro tip, and I'd only recommend it if you want the absolute maximum video quality possible. And I only really suggest using this on special occasions. So to enable this, open your camera app. In the bottom right corner, go to Pro Video. And then at the top of the screen here, you will see the option to change the resolution. Set it to 8K 30. Now, once this is set, if you want to take things even further, you can now enable the log feature in the top right corner. And if you're wondering what the hell is log, well, it's short for logarithmic. Put simply, this is a video format that holds a ton more information than your regular video formats. And when you shoot videos in this format, the colors will appear to be very flat. But check this out, if you do film some 8K footage in log format, if you open that video file within the phone and swipe up, you automatically get the color correct option. So this will use the phone's AI to color correct the footage very quickly, and it actually does a very good job of this. But the beauty of this format is how much more creative you can be with this, and how much you can push and pull the colors within an editing suite such as Adobe Premiere, for example. But if color grading really isn't your bag, you can still make use of this and just use the swipe up and the color correct feature here to get the best quality footage from your phone. So that last one was a pro tip, and in the spirit of trying to provide something or some value to everyone who watches this video, this next one is for those of you watching this video who find technology a little bit too complicated or overwhelming from time to time. So now check out this new upgrade. If you jump into your settings and hit the little search icon, you get this new bar here at the bottom. So with this, instead of trying to navigate the menus and sub-menus and sub-menus, trying to find what it is you're trying to do, now you can just use your voice and tell it what you're trying to achieve. I want my screen to stay on for longer. And straight away it will navigate to the sections of the menus that it thinks you're looking for. And what I was specifically looking for without saying it there is the screen timeout. Here's another example. I'm worried about the security on my phone. And straight away it brings up all of the security related settings, so you can quickly find exactly what you're looking for, even if you don't know the exact name of the setting. And I do recommend you look into the security settings on your phone, because you don't want to run into a hacker. All right, now let's do a fun one. And this is something I'm assuming no one's shown you yet, unless they've seen this video, of course. There are a ton of customization options on Galaxy phones. and I've done entire videos about that. But here's a brand new one that I just discovered. See the Google search bar here. This is pretty standard issue for all Android phones, but this is the only phone that I've seen with this new feature. If you hold your finger down on the Google search bar and go to settings, here you can change the theme of the search bar. So you can have light mode, system colors, or even device colors. And if you want to get real creative, you can go to custom and choose a specific color. And then if you want to, with any of these themes, you can actually change the transparency of the search bar. So I'm going to go with this red one and just make it as transparent as possible. And there we go. A custom Google search bar just for you. And if you are going to set a custom color, I do recommend it's a color that complements your wallpaper. So while we're talking about wallpapers, here's a quick trick you've probably seen before, unless this is your first Samsung Galaxy device. And if it is, let me show you this real quick. If you hold your finger down on an empty part of the screen and go to wallpaper and style, here go to change wallpapers and scroll down to the section that says create with AI. Tap on that. I'm going to go with the imaginary. And this gives you a text prompt with certain aspects that you can tweak. So these highlighted words can be changed to whatever you like. Once you've chosen your favorite description, just hit generate and it will create it for you. So you can come up with some really unique images here straight from the mind of the machines. Or let's say you already have a wallpaper or a photo that you want to use as your background. Well, you can make that wallpaper even more interactive and even more useful if you do this. Go into your settings. This is another way to get to the same settings menu I just showed you. Scroll down to wallpaper and style. Go to change wallpaper again. Go back to the create with AI section, except this time we're going to go to photo ambient. And I'm not going to use this one. Let's do that again. So photo ambient, albums. We're going to go with this one here. So what the photo ambient feature does is it actually adds contextual weather effects based off of where you are geographically. So if you want to see this in action, you can push the play button and it will give you an idea of what it will look like. And believe it or not, I have seen sun rays beaming from the top of the screen once in a while, even though I'm here in England. Now here's the first quick little bonus tip for you guys when it comes to wallpapers. For example, this one here is very nice on the lock screen, but when I unlock the phone, it kind of distracts from the apps on the page. And there's a good way to fix this. So if you hold your finger down on an empty part of the screen, go to wallpaper and style, tap on the home screen setup here. At the bottom, you do have different filters and styles you can use. So if you go to effects, here if you swipe across once, you can add a blur effect and that just softens all of those sharp edges and helps the apps stand out more. Okay, so right now I'm filming a video with music playing in the background, and let's say there was crowd noise and maybe even street noise going on as well. Well, if you find yourself shooting video in a scenario like this, you're gonna love this next trick. So this is the original recording of that clip, and here's how it sounds. Okay, so right now I'm filming a video with music playing in the background, and let's say there was... So this next magic trick is utilizing AI once again, and you have the sparkly stars here at the bottom. If you tap that, it analyzes the sound in the video and it breaks it into stems. So it depends on what the AI recognizes in the audio. But right now you can see it's found the music and it's also found some noise in the background. And what you can do is tap on one of these and adjust the amount of that noise you want to adjust just by dialing up or dialing down certain aspects. So I'm going to dial down the noise and the music and play the clip again. Filming a video with music playing in the background, and let's say there was crowd noise and maybe even street noise going on as well. Well, if you find yourself shooting video in a scenario like this, you're going to love this next trick. All right, it's time for another pro tip, and this is a very well hidden brand new feature on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. To unlock this, you need to open your camera app. You need to go to more in the bottom right corner, and then here in the top left, you should see Expert RAW with a little arrow pointing down. That indicates that you haven't downloaded it yet. Make sure you download it and then open it. Give it all of the permissions that it asks for. And then there's one last step to this. See the little flask down here in the bottom right corner? Looks like a chemistry set thing. Just tap that. And this will unlock a bunch of new lab tools, including the aperture adjustment feature. That's the little F icon here at the end. So just tap on that. So if you dial this to a low F number, the camera will focus on a specific point within the field of view and everything else will be defocused. If you dial this to a high f-stop, a high number, more and more will be in focus at one time. And that's a very basic explanation of how aperture works on an actual camera with a pro lens. So with this new tool, now you can be even more of a pro photographer.
Let me see.
Now, one of the most unique features for the Galaxy Ultra is, of course, the S Pen, and there's a lot of good use cases for this. In fact, I made an entire video detailing them. I'll link that at the end of this video if you want to watch it. But for now, here's a really good use case, and do keep in mind this can be done without the S Pen. It's just a bit more precise if you do have the S Pen. So let's say you've got a video playing on your phone and you want to grab a funny meme from that video to share on social media. Well, with the S Pen, you can just hover over or tap this little icon here for the air commands, go to AI select, and then you can actually just draw around the part of the screen where you want to grab the clip from. Once you've done that, you can tap off that, hit the three dots to the right hand side and go to create GIF. Now at the precise moment where you want to grab the clip, you can just hit record. You can also adjust the quality between high and standard if you want to. And once you've grabbed your clip, you can also crop it a little bit if you want to, so it's more square for social media, or leave it as it was originally recorded. Entirely up to you. But this one's definitely all about timing. So if you ever received a phone call from a suspicious telemarketing company, or maybe received an important phone call and had an important conversation, but immediately after putting the phone down, you forgot some of the key information. Well, if either of these has happened to you, you're going to love this one. Open your phone app, hit the three dots and go to settings. Here, if you go to the record calls section, you can go to transcript assist and switch on auto transcribe recorded calls. Now, the next time you're on a phone call, you will have the option to record the call just like before, but now this call will be transcribed automatically into text, so you can quickly access what was said during that call without having to listen to the whole recording to find it. Now listen, there's another way to reduce the amount of marketing, sales calls and scammers phoning your phone. And here's how you do that. If you open the phone app again, go to the three dots again, go to settings, and here you will see the option for caller ID and spam protection. If you tap on that, you'll see that this uses Hire, which is a service that has a database of well-known spammers and scammers. So if you enable this, it will filter out those calls for you, or at least flag them up. And you do get the option to choose between block all spam and scam calls and only block high risk. Well, you made it to the end, and you know, as always, I've saved some bonus tips and tricks for the people who enjoyed the video the most, because like I said in the beginning,
I got you, homie.
So you know time waits for no man or woman, and sometimes you just want people to get to the point as quickly as possible, says the person who's taken this long into the video to get to this point. Anyway, let me show you what I'm trying to get at here. Now let's say you're watching a video on YouTube. With this video playing on screen, if you hit the Gemini button, you can actually ask it about the video or talk live about this video with Gemini and have a full-on discussion about the video that's playing. And all of this will be saved within your Gemini app. But if you want to get to the point even more quickly, what you can do is just ask about the video and type in, give me a summary or give me the highlights. And this is a great feature if you're going underground or on a plane or something like that and you won't have internet, you can still have access to this text here within Gemini. Now remember how I said if you're using Gboard as opposed to the Samsung keyboard, I had a trick saved for you. Let's wake Gemini, just tap the little search bar, and you can see I've got the keyboard, but there's no sparkly stars there on the keyboard like the Samsung keyboard has. Well, check this out. If you hold your finger down on an empty space on a text field, you get the sparkly stars, and then you can tap that and it brings up the composer tool. So this next one is a fan favorite. If you go into your settings and you go to notifications, and here go to notification pop-up styles. Make sure brief is selected and then go to apps to show as brief. I highly recommend you switch off everything that you don't want to be too distracting, because this will make things even more eye-catching. So just go through this list, spend a bit of time doing that. Once you've done that, if you go to color by keyword, here this seems to work best when you type in people's names. So for example, I'm going to type in my name and hit plus. Now my name has been created in this list. I can choose a color for my name. Let's go with dark blue. If we go back and go to edge lighting style, and then here, my favorite by far is spotlight. So whenever I get a message from myself, it will come up with a glow at the top in blue. And if you want to, you can go to advanced and change the color specifically for the glow. So this is great because whenever notifications come through, you can identify who it's from immediately just by the color of the notification or from what app it came from. It is. Okay, if you like that log video recording tip from earlier, then here's a little hidden setting, and it's a very well hidden setting. Check this out. The best way to do this is to jump into your settings, go to the search menu here and say camera settings. The reason this way is easier is because in the actual camera app, you can't just jump straight into the settings that easily anymore. And what we're looking for here is advanced video options. Go to this, tap on advanced video options at the top, and here where you see the log mode, and it should be switched on. If you tap on this, you can actually set it to video and pro video modes. That way now when you use the camera, you don't have to go to pro video in order to use log. All right, so you already know your phone is fast, but there's a way to make it feel even faster. And you could use this one to trick your friends who have exactly the same phone as you into believing their S25 Ultra is slower than yours. Here's how you do it. Go into your settings, go to accessibility, vision enhancements, and scroll down, and you will see this, reduce animations. So this just squashes the amount of time the animations take, and it will make your phone feel much. Okay, so this one is just a quick tip for newbies to the Samsung Galaxy user interface. And this one works specifically with the Samsung Internet Explorer app. So that's this app here. When you open this, you'll notice the AI sparkles at the bottom of the screen. If you tap this, there's a new feature here, which is read highlights aloud. So let's say you're walking down the street, an article pops up that you really want to read, but you're walking, so you don't want to read and walk at the same time. You can use this feature and get the idea of what the article is all about through your headphones, for example. And if you did happen to pick up some Galaxy Buds with your purchase of the Galaxy S25, I actually made a tips and tricks video all about that. I'll link that at the end. All right, so here's the last pro tip, and this one is buried so deep within the settings, most people will probably never know it even exists, but now you're gonna know. So go into your settings, accessibility, advanced settings, and here you will notice the side and volume up buttons are not mapped to do anything at this point. So why not change that and actually make use of this input? So to do this, just tap on the side and volume up and then choose from this list of options here. A good one that could be very useful is to mute all sounds. So if your phone's going crazy, it's driving you nuts with all the notifications, you could just set it to mute all sounds. That way now when you hit the side key and the volume up, it mutes all the sounds. And when you push it again, it unmutes them. So this could be very handy in a meeting or something like that. So it's definitely worth taking a look at the options that you have here. And Samsung, if you're watching this, please let us remap it to a specific app. That would be nice. Now, if you want to learn how to set up your phone properly the right way on day one, then definitely check out my first things to do video on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And let's say you already know the basics and you want to dive deeper into your Galaxy's Pro features, then check out this other thumbnail that's on screen right now. And I really hope this video has helped you in some way. If it has, a little comment, a thumbs up would be much appreciated. If it helped you a lot, maybe subscribe. And if you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. And I will see you in the next one. Don't be late.